Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast. This is Jason Samkovic. I'm going to take a second here. We're going to cover a little bit of some quick down and dirty scouting stuff for new areas. If you didn't get a chance to scout it ahead of time, figure things out, this is a quick way to do this. Looked on a map. What we have here, this is all just really big swamp that runs for about 4 miles, and it's about probably, I don't know, quarter mile, half mile long, and there's actually water more in the middle of this, but pretty thick swamp runs through here. We're right at the point of it now. But something that we can do to make this where it's more, where we don't have to, where we can basically speed scout it and get set up quickly, is to take a look at this. We know for a fact that these deer are going to be bedded somewhere on these little points and stuff that are on this along here. It's a good place for them to be at. So we can look at a map and find anything that's a point like this, like I'm on right here, where it's kind of a point that's starting to jet out into here. There's big ones, there's small ones, but these are going to be key areas where beds are going to, or bucks and deer are going to want to bed at, or where these points kind of jet into this swamp. And then they will usually travel out into open areas, which we have back here. This is a pretty good size open area that we have back here. Now the DNR, Michigan DNR, actually plants a food plot up there. It's just a rye field. There's another rye field up over there, probably, I don't know, 500-600 yards away. But you can see it's pretty open out there. You're not going to get much deer activity out there during daytime for the most part. So you want to catch them back here closer to where they're bedding at. So what you're going to want to do for that is take a look at this stuff on a map, find where these points, like we're on right here, this point here, this kind of stuff, where they're going to be bedded out in there, and then also look for these fingers. See how this is a finger that jets out into that open stuff, but see how it comes out so far versus everything back here being narrower and closer in? That finger that jets out right here, those are going to be a lot of travel corridors that they're going to want to use because they got good cover for further into those areas. They can stand right on the end of this and scan out there a long way in a wide degree before they head out into that. So those are usually good spots where you're going to catch them at as well too. But basically, look for the points. Look for the points that are coming, points that are going into bed on, points that are coming out to travel on. Look for these cross trails like I got right here. See this trail right here that's coming across right in here? Look for these. You know these are going to be here and they're going to parallel this swamp. Then start watching for where the trails are coming out of this swamp. Like I said, focusing on, if you don't have the time to walk the whole transition line here, focus on these points that go in and the points that come out, and look for those trails and stuff that are going in and out. If they're, they can be either one, but, or if you're lucky enough, this one here doesn't, but if you find, sometimes there'll be like a farm road or something along there, and you can then go in there. If you're going to hunt it, you can drive that road to, a couple days before you hunt it and look for where tracks are coming out of there or coming back in, and that will give you a good relationship zone to know where along this line that intersection is going to be, so you can capture deer coming in and out of this bedding area, and also catch bucks that are cruising along the edge of this bedding area that are scent checking for does or any of that kind of stuff, or if they're trying to J hook in, things like that. It gives you a good intersection point to catch this kind of stuff. So something to take a look at. Exactly what I'm talking about is because I've been walking that transition line, I was just standing right there when I was talking to you on that little point that dips in. You can see this point here, and where that point jots out, I was just standing there. I came out here another 20 yards. Look at this trail here that runs parallel right along the edge of this swamp right here. So it kind of shows you, again, that's why you want to be in a position not only to capture them coming in and out of the woods from bedding to feeding, but setting up where you're within range of this kind of stuff lets you catch any of those deer that are parallel on the edge of that bedding area, trying to get to a spot they want to come into, because they don't walk straight out of here and then go straight out into here and then eat in one spot and walk directly straight back. They're going to be milling around. They're going to be in that thing overnight. They're going to be doing stuff out there, but they may come out way over here, but they want to bed back behind me. This is the way they're going to come to travel to come in there to bed. So definitely want to make sure you incorporate that into some kind of your shooting possibilities. Found something out, again, spring scouting out here, coming up with all kinds of things. And I saw this bog right here, which is just you can see it out here. It's basically just an area, probably, I don't know, it's probably 100 yards by 100 yards wide, where it's just open and deer aren't going to want to go in there. I can see it a little bit better there, but just this bog right there. And then on this side is another bog that's about half the size right in here. You can see it, just not real big, but it is there, just a small little bog, but same kind of thing where they don't want to go into those areas. I saw these two little specks when I was looking at the map, and I thought, you know what, I'll bet this little funnel that I'm standing in between here and between there is going to be a good spot, because we got real thick bedding area and swamp back there in some other runs, and there's also another edge, a transitional edge that I'm actually heading to over on that side, which you can barely see, and I'm not going out into this water, but right over there, there's a transitional edge between the swamp and here that I also want to check out. But this area here between this bog and that bog, we have what we call here a funnel, a pinch point in the middle of this, between these two. Here's the other one. Now, if you look at this, we have a major trail that runs right up through here, very, very good solid trail, and continues right on up through there. We also have this major trail, which comes up this way and runs right through here just like that. So right here, you can see where this trail and this trail intersect right here and come together. This is a key spot. All those deer that are out there in those areas out there that want to head back to bedding on behind me back here, they're going to travel through this spot. If they're coming through here anywhere in this 300-yard zone across here, they will travel either the outside edges of these two bogs or they'll come right here through the middle. This makes a phenomenal spot right here. There is, as you can see, no trees to put a stand in. And that gives them the security that they're looking for. But I mean, you probably could in a saddle, I mean, but it's pretty tricky trees. But it's so nice and thick in here. I'm standing right at that intersection. There's those two trails that go up that way, one there and one here. Behind me, here's where they're coming out of the stuff from it. They're coming out of here at night and heading back behind us to bed here and here. What we're right here, right up through there. And so what I would do is in this spot right here someplace, literally 10 yards out, I would basically build myself a ground blind. I would either tuck it right in there, or tuck it right in there, or tuck it right in there. I would also put one somewhere right in here in this low spot that's down here, or somewhere right in here, but it'll literally take me less than 10 minutes each to build a quick makeshift ground blind on this side and a quick makeshift ground blind on this side to give me whatever wind direction I want to use. But a perfect spot, great spot for my wife, for my kids, for myself, for anybody, but fast, easy to find. I will remember this spot. I'm marking it down. It's the go spot. This is one that I'll come back on a rainy day in September. I'll walk back in here and I'll just double check the sign on here, and if there's a sign on here, you can bet in October I'm going to be sitting in here in a ground blind tucked away in one of these little quick spots. Now, in June, July, or August, when I have time on a rainy day, is when I will come out here and actually make those two ground blinds real quick. Probably be one right over in here somewhere simple, and I'll probably put one right in here somewhere pretty simple. In that way I'm all set up and I can shoot this real good. So just another thing. I mean, it doesn't take a lot, but this, because of that bog, and because of that bog, we have taken a 300-yard area and turned everything and concentrated it to within a 10-yard shooting zone. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for as traditional bow hunters. What I'm going to talk about here, I just found, I'm excited about. This is kind of what I call a doe killing hotspot with serious potential. Especially during the rut, there's good potential for some horns to be through here too, but it is mainly a doe killing zone. This is a hub. In my opinion here, and basically I'm going to explain to you, instead of explaining all the reasons why terrain wise, swamp, bog, marsh, you know, poplar, you know, all this kind of stuff, I'm just going to show you what I'm looking at here. This tree right here, which is about 30 yards from me, is where I'd put my stand in, right where that second crotch is up there where it kind of breaks off. You know, right above that one, it looks like a broken branch and it hangs out right there, that little gap there. That's probably where I'd put my stand at. And the reason why, all right, we got a good trail coming right through here. So from where I am, I got a trail I can shoot right here from that tree perfectly. We walk up, we're going to walk, basically make a circle right around this. Okay, we got another trail that comes up right here and goes through this way right there and leads right into there, walks right past it, perfect shooting, good. Two trails. Come back around this way. We come up this way. We got another trail that comes out from behind me, works right up here, right to that tree. It actually runs right up here in front of it to that tree, which is, you know, pretty close. Going to give me a perfect shot there. So I got good shooting there. So that's three trails that come in here, three separate trails. Coming up here more, you can still see where that tree is right there. We have monster trail that runs right through here, goes right up through, splits around this tree, but right here, in range of this, that's a 20-yard, 22-yard shot from that tree, dead. Perfect. Another trail, look at this one, comes right up out of there, runs right up through here and merges in with that one right over there. Perfect shooting, dead. That's whatever that is, 6 trails. Come over here, we got the other one right here. 7 trails that I can easily shoot. That tree is still right next to me there. We're walking through here. So we got 7 there, 7 total trails. Not a lot happening right in this real thick stuff right here. But when you get on this side of it, you have 8 trails. Right here runs through. There's that tree right there. That's 8 trails. Working back over, we have a monster trail right here comes by. 9 trails, shooting lane there. This one is the 10th trail here that comes in, and these two merge together right in front of it right there, making 10 trails. Walking down here closer to the edge of the swamp. I'm assuming we're going to have some over here. I haven't actually come over this far yet. But let's see here. Working sideways from there. And I don't see... Because there's one down... That's getting pretty far from there. So I don't think I can shoot right down there on that transition line to that swamp. So, but I got 7 of them here. Now you can see there's actually a ladder stand here. I don't think that ladder stand's been used in forever. It looks like that strap's about done. Some people do that, they just leave them out here, but he doesn't worry me. I'm not worried. If he wants to hunt that, which most likely is probably a gun hunter because of the way he's positioned out here, being able to shoot out there into that thick swamp out there, that's fine. It's all up to him. But doesn't deter me from potentially being in that tree. And there's also 2 trails that go that way. We can shoot on that side. Now, if we keep walking around this over here, let's see if there's anything coming out of that marsh. Because there were 2 on that side that come right up out of there that I walked around on. It gives us, so that gives us 12 different ones. That tree's still right there. Oh, look at here. Look at this monster here. Look at this trail here. Right here that runs up. 13. That's my tree right there. That spruce tree right there. So that's 17 trails. Looking over here. Oh, look right here. Another one comes out right here and works right into that. That's 18 trails. And here's more of those kicker trails. So that one does come up out of that marsh right there. So that's 19 trails. And let's swing around over here, see if we see anything else that comes up out of there. These are the ones that we saw earlier going across. We're looking for something going parallel to the camera frame right now. Here's another one. I think we're getting about out of range. But this one, nope, we're out of range. Yeah, we are officially, not really. I don't think we're that far out of range. Maybe, yeah, we're out of range. All right, so I got basically, whatever that was, 17 trails that I can shoot from that tree. 17 trails in this one area. And as you can see, very minimal required trim work that has to be done in here. And we have 17 shootable options through here that are packed down pretty heavy. Now, this is spring scouting. A lot of these trails are throughout, these are mainly, all the sign you see in here is from during hunting season. It's been under snow until 2 weeks ago. So, but that makes this tree right here, gives us a gold mine. This tree gives us 17 different trails that we can shoot from that tree right there. Looks like it's been through some crap with some wind we had, but right about where that broken branch is right there, that's where I'd put my stand at right there. Shoot out that way, shoot out that way. I'd do a smidge of trimming so I can shoot that way. But that would be a perfect spot to be able to cover all this. My lone wolf will eat that tree up and sit nice and perfect right on there. And this is a doe killing spot. Now if I go to that tree, close as I can here because of the branches here, but I'm basically right at the base of this tree. You can look around and see how it's still real good cover, especially early season. You can see all these perfect shooting windows all the way through this. As I walk around the tree, I'm staying right on it though. But you can see all this great shooting. Now this is part of that tree. Here would be this way, but all this perfect shooting that we have there, we just done a full circle around it. All from this one tree right there. So just a tip for you, something to show you. So as I said, hubs can be anywhere. In my opinion, this is a hub. Why is it a hub? Because I have 17 different trails heading 5 different directions, and they're all within shooting range of this tree. To me, that's a gold mine spot. It is kind of open up here on the hilltop, but it is surrounded, as you can see, by very thick woods. Okay, it's just a little gap in here, and it's all swamp out there. So it's a pretty gold mine spot. I'm pretty fired up about this. I'm marking this on my what 3 words on my phone. I'm locking this in, and you can bet your butt I will be in this tree this fall for sure. Out and just ran across this. This is a decent little 6-point here. Looks like to me like he'd probably hit during the gun season and not found. That's the bare minimum here in the area I'm in, is 6-point or bigger. and he definitely qualifies as a legal deer. But the reason I say that it's not a winter kill and most likely a actual kill during gun season is because his antlers are still on. If it would have been a winter kill, you know, something that happened in February, most likely his antlers would have fell off already before he went down. But given the fact that they're still attached, I would guess that that's probably a gun season kill. But definite bummer, but it goes to show you that nothing goes to waste out here in the wild. They never found that deer apparently, but as you can see, nothing goes to waste. His rib cage is right over there. That's what I saw first, was that. You can see it sticking up right there. And but I mean, there's not a speck of this thing left. Every single pit or part of this deer is completely, you know, wiped clean, and their bugs are still on it. So and there's still a lot of hair right here as well too. So I'm assuming that it was frozen under the snow. You know, it was killed in December, frozen, nothing found it. It was left there, you know, nothing got to it, and it stayed frozen all winter long. And then, you know, now that it thawed out, because like I said, this area had, you know, I mean, there was over 2 feet of snow in spots in here. And snow finally receded, and now everything was able to get in there, and he was perfectly frozen and a perfect meal for him. And coyotes and raccoons and you name it, everything right there was probably eating on it and did away with it. But nothing goes to waste out in the wild. What I want to talk about here, we got a pretty interesting scenario. As you can see, I'm in the middle of some very, very thick stuff, surrounded by water, all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm on a little island right here with these few trees, all right, right here. We have a bed right over here. You got another bed right over there. I'm not breaking through all this brush in here to show you, but when we come around over on this side and break back around over here, we got a bed right up there, another bed right here. We go up through here, into here. We got more. We got, you can still see the depressions again. But we got a bed right here. We got a bed right here. Got a big bed right here. Right there. You can see that right there. So there's beds in here. I'm sure there's bed in other places in here as well too. Got some trails that go up out of here through here and break across into that section of trees over there. But this is all water right through here. Another trail that goes that way and cuts up through there. I don't see any other ones that probably go through there. There's some poop and stuff in here, but basically, in a nutshell, this little island here has quite a few beds on it, as you can see them, but I don't have any, I'm not seeing any rubs right in here, but that doesn't mean that it's, well, you know, I don't know how to tell if it's buck or not, basically, unless I got rubs in there, you know, except for by the size, lots of poop, lots of stuff, but it's definitely a bedding area right in here for sure. Now what's interesting about this and how I found it was that bed right here, but what we got here, I gotta actually figure out how I came in. I think it was right over here, wasn't it? Let me see, but I'm gonna backtrack you back out of here, which is way easier said than done, which is probably the reason they're bedding in here is because of the fact that it's so thick and kind of a pain in the butt to get back into. I want to go right through there, I think. Because this is, you know, it's not the water or the swamp or anything like that. It's a pain in the butt. It's all the brush. You got to fight your way around and get through to get out of here. But this is worth it, and you will find quite interesting once I actually do push through this. Hang on. Try and not drop the camera. Sorry if it looks like you're bouncing all over. It's a nightmare in here. All right. Anyway. Now, once we get back over here on this side, you can see right there is my truck. There is a road right there. There is rubs everywhere in here along this. I mean, I counted no less than, I mean, there had to be 30 rubs that come right in here and parallel this, right along the edge of this marsh right here, between here and that road. And that just opens up the woods over there. It gets a little easier to get into, but there are rubs. I mean, there are rubs every place in here. Rubs right there, rubs right there. I mean, they just go for rubs right there. They just go forever. I mean, everywhere you turn in here, there is basically a new rub. And that line, like I said, just keeps going all the way down there. So what it tells you is that that little island right there, just because of how nasty it is to get into, is a perfect bedding area. These deer may come out and it's by the sign, rub here, rub there. You know, they're all over. Based on what we're seeing, there's a very good possibility that his bucks are, if there's bucks bedded on there, they're coming out and they're staging right here in this area just off the road where they can't be seen, but they're hanging right here till they want to head out of here. Does this make this a good hunting spot? I don't know. Could you get in here and hunt this and be close enough to these trees without them busting you? I don't know. If you were to set up somewhere here where you weren't too far off that road, maybe one of these trees here that you could just tiptoe to real quietly, and you already had a stand hung and do it, you could probably get away with it, and it may be a phenomenal spot. But it just goes to show you the deer don't necessarily have to go 100 miles into the woods to feel security. There's a bunch of deer beds right there on that little island, and we are, you know, I mean, I'm 20 yards from my truck, which is right there. I mean, 20 yards to that truck, 20 yards to that island. So just something to think about. People drive up and down this road all the time, going back there, leads back to a lake. There's boats and trailers and stuff going by here constantly. Yet you got deer bedded right here, watching it all go by, that are safe and secure. Something to put, another tool for you to have in your arsenal when you're doing your scouting. Too easy and too predictable. And I'm liking the fact that it's easy and predictable. But here's this is that same swamp. I was way over on the other side when we just did that thing, and I walked out on that bedding area and showed it to you. Walked it all the way around, came all the way down. I'm working my way, and I'm going right on down this whole transition line. But this is the third time I've seen it. Anytime I see this little island of trees right out here like this, the other ones I've been going out on, I'm finding beds on them, for sure, when I walk out on them. There's been 2 since last spot. But here's another one. I'm not even going out on it. Why? Because I see it there, and I automatically look at where that is. I got good runs that come right up along here that are going parallel right with this transition line. It worked right up through here. But what I'm seeing here, anytime I got an island or a group of trees like this, what I'm finding is tons and tons of rubs. Rub right here, rub right there, rub right there, rub right there. They're just everywhere in here. They're back behind me over here, but there's rubs all over. There's a rub right there on that tree. Look at all, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rubs right there. They're just everywhere in here. And they're always, where I'm finding them is fresh poop right here or poop right here, but I'm finding them right on these spots that go right out here. Look at that trail that wiggles right up through that water, right into there. Perfect bedding area, perfect spot. Rubs over there. See the rubs over there behind the pine tree. Look at the rubs over there in those. Look at the rubs right here. Look at the rubs up here. I mean, everywhere. So what it's telling me is this is a gold mine little spot right here, right on the transition line that runs right along here. But now I have something where they're bedding right there, and they're going to come out right here. Putting a stand somewhere in one of these trees right here that's going to give me shots of that. I can sneak in here nice and quiet and get in close, or maybe even back just a little farther that I can shoot this zone. Gives me that option of a perfect intersection where they're coming in and out of bedding, and they're going to parallel this like that. Gold mine spots, and like I said, there's been a few of them. Anywhere I see an island like this, I'm seeing all this rub activity right out here, right on the edge, right in front of there. Now I'll walk another 150 yards and not see any rub activity or nothing, but if I catch an island of trees out there, there's going to be rubbing all over in front of it. So pretty consistent. I like it. Something to keep an eye out. But this makes for a perfect intersection hunting spot. You know for sure that I'm going to be set up in one of these trees right up here somewhere sometime this year and ready to hunt this spot. When I was just showing you about how they're rubbing all over in here, coming out across from that island right here. Here is one of the main trails. You can see it goes right up in there right there. There was the big one on the other side. It's coming out right here, comes right up through here. Look at this, just here, just 5 feet away from there where that island is. Look at, we got rubs, 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 rub, 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 rub. I mean, there are rubs everywhere in here. Just a phenomenal little spot. Tells you. But see where I am, I'm tucked back. That opens up pretty good out there further down, but I mean it's still pretty thick woods, a lot of undergrowth and stuff like that in here. But I am right on this transition edge where this is well hidden and covered in real good, and nobody's going to know he's here, but it's right here. And I mean, I have amazing shooting opportunity into here. This is going to be a phenomenal spot. So you know, as Dan Infalt said, you know, I mean, a lot of my scouting so far this year has been based on what he's been talking about, and I'm telling you, I'm finding it more and more is that he's not lying. I mean, these transition zones are where it's at. This is the places to be, not way out there in the woods, right here at the transitions, right on the edges, and that's where the deer are traveling. And all this sign is showing you that, is showing me that time and time again. There are rubs everywhere I turn that camera. There are rubs in here, and they go down here for another, I don't know, God, it's got to be 30 yards that I can see in here, and they came all the way from back here too. So just something to think about. Awesome kind of opportunities here on these transitions. Classic hub, or I mean funnel type pinch point. So that's all that swamp edge I've been following, this transition line. That's where I've been pretty much most of the day here. But so you got them coming across here, or there's swamp water out there, bedding out there, stuff like that, coming out into the woods. Well, here we got another scenario. Here we got an area that's been clear cut. They clear cut this a year and a half ago. And so there's not much, there's no poplar growing in it yet, no nothing, no good cover. There's no cover out there, okay? It's just pure open. You can see for a long ways, and it actually goes for about a mile almost. It's clear cut. It's a big strip and goes all the way out about another 300 yards there, 400 yards to a little dirt road. They wiped this whole thing out. Left a couple little sections of pine like that there, a couple groups, but for the most part, pretty wiped out. Very open. So you got this transition, so they don't want to be out here where it's open. If they're coming across here, if they're traveling across, parallel to the camera here, they don't want to be out there. They also don't want to have to travel through that crap. They'll bed in it, but they don't want to travel through that kind of crap. So they'll hit this transition line. You can see here, we got a good rub right here. Trails that run right through here, but they'll run right along this transition line right in here. So those loggers created a funnel, a pinch point per se, right through here where these deer that are going to travel this entire area, any deer they want to come across this way, across here, are not going to walk through that open stuff, not going to walk through there. That swamp goes for about probably, I'm going to say that goes probably 500 yards, 600 yards across thick, nasty water, you know, and tag elder, dog brush, all that kind of stuff, just nasty, thick to get through. This side, call it 500 yards, goes across that way, is clear cut. That's a 1,000-yard zone that any deer that want to cross this way in that 1,000-yard zone are probably going to come somewhere through this area during daytime. It narrows that kind of stuff down for you, creates great funnels. There's that swamp. We're on that edge. You can see where it kind of comes out to a point into this right here. There are a couple trails coming off there, but look at this trail right here that I'm standing on. It runs right up through there. That's coming through here, right on the transition edge of all this open stuff. You know, for the same reasons I just told you. You can see it runs right in here and it parallels right around here. And it just stays right hunkered in. That water's literally 10 yards into there, 5 yards into there. They're basically just running a simple spot. If they need to, they'll go in there. But what it does is, the whole purpose of this transition line stuff is to show you that it's creating intersections. Okay, now yes, you could set up and you could hunt this trail right here. Say you pick a tree anywhere you want, pick that tree, you hunt this trail that I'm standing on right here, and you know, right up there, or anything you want, and yeah, you may get deer coming across here. But you could also hunt it where you could find one of those islands or a point that goes out into this, where there's a point out there and there's bedding out on the end of the point, and you could hunt right on that point and capture them right there. Or you can combine the two of them. Catch them where you have this transition line along the edge, and you have the points and the islands and the stuff where they're bedding out there, where they're coming off of those points, meets this transition line. Now you have an intersection area that's going to give you the best opportunity for deer. That's what I'm interested in. Yes, I mean, obviously I like killing, you know, big bucks as much as the next guy, but that transition zone is better to me than hunting one versus, or that intersection is better than hunting one transition line or one particular bedding area. I want to capture both, especially during the rut where you have them possibly going in and out of that bed, but you also have cruisers that are working this edge, scent checking any deer that are going in and out of this to bed down. So this is going to be a major highway runway for deer during the rut time. So it kind of is a win-win situation to be able to accomplish both. Look for those intersections. Find the points in the islands. Find the transition line. Set up on those. Mark them down. Those are going to be gold mines. Feel the deal. I've covered quite a bit of ground. It's almost dark now. But here's that pine tree where we're at. Here's where all those rubs were, where I said this is getting too easy. You know, there's that island that I said they were, you know, coming off of and bedding and all that kind of stuff. And well, I'm out here a little further out as I came out into this area as I'm walking back. Again, I expect activity to be right on that transition line and coming out of there. But right here, we have a scrape. Right on a major trail. Runs right up through here just like that. We got a good scrape right there, right off that point. All those rubs are right in here, right off that point as well too, all along both sides of this. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the front of the camera, it focuses on it. But all along here, that's all the rubs. Good scrape here. Two good transition trails, one here, one on that transition line there, and we got them coming out of there. Gold mine spot right here. That big pine tree is my marker, so when I come back in here in a rainy day and get set up, I'm gonna know where to go. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll talk to you soon.